Okay, hello everybody. I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith back with you again here for our 7:15 streaming show while Steve Horsemeyer takes a couple more days off. But look at this beautiful shot behind me of Newport on the Levee with the buildings still illuminated. Some of the buildings are lit up in pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but as you look off in the distance at the sunset off in the horizon, just gorgeous colors. Of course, the reflection off of the river, beautiful there as well with quiet weather again, a little breezy. I don't see any flags. Well, you can see the flag here atop the U.S. Bank building, definitely waving in the breeze, but winds starting to die down. It has been a very warm, a very windy day. I believe the unofficial high temperature was 78 degrees. Remember, our record for today is 83. Record for tomorrow is also 83, and we'll try to get close to that again tomorrow. Very similar weather tomorrow expected to compare to what we had today. So obviously the main focus for today's forecast is on that Halloween forecast because again we are talking about a first alert weather day on Thursday with heavy rain expected, disruptions to trick-or-treating. We're talking about thunderstorms, possibly a few stronger thunderstorms for Halloween as well. So it is a first alert weather day on Thursday, not only talking about those thunderstorms possible, but we're also talking about those very breezy winds. Mild air, it's still going to be very warm. Remember last year on Halloween, our low was 25, our high was 45. So during trick-or-treating, it was in the 30s for the most part. And we even had some snow falling. It was very light. I believe it was just trace amounts of snowfall, but still, it just goes to show you how cold it was, very windy. I remember it so distinctly because I remember some folks that just said, I don't care what the weather is, I'm still going to wear my costume. And I felt so bad for them because I was sitting there just handing out candy and I was like wearing my, all of my winter weather gear like feet away from my house that I could go inside if I wanted to. So anyways, we have heard from a couple of municipalities actually just in southeastern Indiana that have pushed back trick-or-treating. I believe it was Bright in Lawrenceburg. They pushed it back to Saturday because of the weather on Thursday. So I wouldn't be surprised if more locations do that. I've seen this happen before if there is really bad weather on Halloween because, of course, not only is it just kind of uncomfortable, it kind of ruins the holiday, but you also have a lot of kids, a lot of adults too, that are going to be out and about on those roads that, typically don't see a lot of pedestrian traffic. And so you have low visibility with the rain falling, it's dark. And so it can just cause some extra issues. If municipalities don't change it, if cities don't change it and they keep it with Thursday, that's okay too. We just need to all be very cautious and pay attention to what's happening out there. As far as any kind of rainfall tomorrow, it's going to be dry again. Tomorrow is a rinse and repeat kind of forecast. It's going to be a lot like what we have what we had today. Now you see kind of this cloud deck kind of streaming in from the southwest as it pushes northeast into parts of, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, into Missouri and Iowa as well. Eventually that system is going to push to the east and bring us that rain for Thursday, but you can see right now it's still kind of developing. So there's not any kind of rainfall with that just yet, but that is something that we expect to change in the coming days. Winds have been strong at times today. Right now the current wind gust only 29 miles per hour there at Lunkin, so not a big deal, but we do anticipate that those winds will start to pick up again tomorrow. I think we'll talk about that next. At CVG right now, 71 degrees, winds out of the south at 15 miles per hour, so a little breezy still. And that dew point on the rise, kind of setting the stage for that wet weather later in the week. Okay, so here's a look at those wind speeds tomorrow. Going to be similar to today, 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. We'll do it again on Thursday, but we'll add to it. So Thursday, you're looking at more like 40 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. And Friday, those winds do start to die down. So Thursday, not only do we have that chance for showers and thunderstorms, but we're also looking at very breezy winds. Even outside of thunderstorm chances, you're still going to be talking about, I knew that I did that. Sorry. Even outside of those thunderstorm chances, you're still talking about breezy winds across the area. So just going to be one of those raw days where you don't want to be outside for very long at all because of the inclement weather. As far as the severe weather risk, and I mentioned this yesterday that I thought that this would get expanded into our area. And so far, it's just southeastern Indiana. It does include a sliver of Hamilton and Butler County as well, kind of the northern portions of Boone County, Carroll and Switzerland County included as well. However, we expect this to change in the coming days. Now, whether that means that it will shift east, I'm not terribly convinced about that. I do think that the storms are going to be stronger as they move in from the west, and so they do weaken closer toward us. So it's just something that we'll be watching as we kind of make adjustments as we get closer as this storm system moves in. So here's your hourly forecast. We are talking about a mild night tonight, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We climb back to near 80 degrees tomorrow, but there are more clouds tomorrow. So I think temperatures will likely stay in the upper 70s again, much like they were today. And then as we work our way into Thursday morning, very mild. We're dry in the morning. Our first drops of rain don't come until about 1 p.m. They continue through the afternoon, through the evening hours, definitely during trick-or-treating. You look here, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Yes, we are seeing that rain. Heaviest of the rain is later in the evening. So 9, 10 p.m., you're looking at very heavy rain and then drying out by Friday. Temperatures Friday morning, much cooler in the 30s and 40s. And then we do start to warm things back up. See here, by Friday afternoon, we're closer to 60 degrees. Now, I wanted to show kind of the wider view so that we can look ahead to next week as well. So this is just kind of a different view. Of course, very warm ahead of this cold front. As the front moves through, it brings us that rain and then eventually it brings us that cool down. Now, very breezy winds, of course, again expected. I tried to actually adjust this earlier and clearly I didn't do a great job at it. But yes, we are talking about that rain. Let me see here. Okay, talking about that rain being very heavy Thursday, but then drying out on Friday. And as we head into the weekend, it's dry as well. Now, what I want to do here is look ahead all the way to, let's say, let's actually do this. And then do, because I want to show you election day. So let's get rid of these. Okay. So let's go a little bit back. So rain Thursday, Saturday and Sunday look to be dry. Remember yesterday I was talking about how the rain could return late Sunday evening. Now that has pushed back even further. So Sunday is going to be dry. Monday we do start to see that rain return, but not until later in the day. So right now that forecast is improving for Monday and even Tuesday right now, not looking so bad. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that because again, that is election day. We want to make sure that we have the best forecast available to you because while it's not an excuse, you can't use the weather as an excuse to not vote. You just might want to change the timing that you go to the polls based on the weather. So we want to make sure that that forecast is accurate, of course. We always want to make sure every forecast is accurate, but especially when there are things, big things happening. Of course, the biggest election that maybe we've ever had. So we are talking about trick-or-treat forecast. Of course, wet. Of course, warm, too. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. It is going to be very mild. That clear poncho I still think is the best bet because it's going to be warm enough that you don't need the extra layers, but you'll want something to keep that costume dry, I would imagine. As far as rainfall totals there on Thursday, some spots see as much as an inch of rain. Of course, where those thunderstorms kind of linger a little bit longer, we could see those higher totals, but definitely seeing much needed rain. It's just unfortunate timing. You know, the month of October has been so dry. I actually have the official number pulled up here. It has been, and by the way, it's been very warm, about 4 degrees warmer than normal overall, the average temperature. We are about 2.8 inches below normal for rainfall this month. I mean, we need the rain. We just don't want it on Halloween, obviously. So unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. Okay, Sunday's game right here on Fox 19 Now or at Paycor Stadium, whether you're in person or watching it on TV. And it will be dry. No doubt about that. We don't see any chances for rain during the game with a 1 o'clock kickoff. Temperatures will be in the 60s at kickoff and at halftime, probably even a little bit warmer. We might have to adjust this forecast. Okay, want to talk about this a little bit. Coming up on Thursday, I know this is kind of hard to see. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe you can see it better like that. Coming up on Thursday evening during our 10 o'clock newscast, Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer is going to dive into the winter weather forecast. I know a lot of folks already talking about it. I know a lot of you have been asking me about it. I'm going to hold off on kind of making any kind of predictions until Steve gets all of the data together and makes that forecast on Thursday. But definitely something you'll want to tune in to see because he will go into the details about what the precipitation outlook is, the temperatures, how much snow, are we looking at ice, how long will the winter winter linger? What does it look like next year? He's going to talk about El Nino. All of these things, a lot of details. He's going to get into all of it Thursday evening during the 10 o'clock newscast. So tune in for that. By then, the rain, we're still likely going to be dealing with some thunderstorms during that time, but at least trick-or-treating is over, and so we'll be kind of moving on and focusing on that winter forecast. So that is something to look forward to on Thursday. So I've made some adjustments to this 7-day forecast. I think during the 6 o'clock hour, I made some of those adjustments. So if you were watching earlier, this may be different than what you saw. So again, close to 80 degrees tomorrow, still very windy, still breezy winds a lot like today. Very mild on Thursday with highs in the mid 70s with thunderstorms likely. And then we cool off. Temperatures, overnight lows drop down into the 40s for the first part of the weekend. I know somebody asked me yesterday about the potential for frost. I could see some frost developing early Saturday morning in some of those outlying spots, but that's about our only chance. Temperatures back into the low 60s for Saturday, and then even warmer Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now, I showed you that model, and it's now drying us out Monday and Tuesday. It's kind of lifting that rain to our north. So that's another adjustment we'll have to look at. I just want to get another model run, see if that's consistent. Right now, we're just going to keep a chance for showers in both Monday and Tuesday. If you can do early voting and you already know who you're voting for, I would suggest doing that maybe tomorrow because the weather is ideal if you do have to wait outside or you don't want to be sitting in traffic during the rain. Definitely not a bad idea. Or if you can vote over the weekend too, it's going to be nice. I don't know exactly the schedule on that, especially because of all the different states. So I don't want to say something that's incorrect. So check if you can early vote. Probably not a bad idea. Okay, let me get to any questions that you guys might have. Again, I think Thursday is going to be not only a busy day because of the first alert weather day, but again, because Steve has that winter forecast, of course, he'll be able to talk much more about that coming up. We're really excited about it because it's kind of something different than what we've done before. In the past, we've done kind of a more comprehensive kind of looking ahead to the winter with safety tips and things like that. Now we're just going to kind of compress that and talk about the winter forecast. So, okay. Again, the normal high for today is 61. And yeah, we made it to 78, so well above normal temperatures. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets adjusted to 79 degrees, but either way, temperatures well above normal, but not a record high. Remember, I had that graphic earlier. What the heck? Okay, here we go. And this, of course, is, so today we made it to 78. The record was 83, so we did not break that record. Here, I'll take it full since it's getting cut off there. Tomorrow, the forecast, I think we actually have it at 80, but either way, the record high is 83. And then Thursday, we're not talking about record warmth, but definitely a very warm day considering the normal high is 61. And then Friday's high, and actually we may have adjusted that too, 61 degrees is the high, and definitely not a record on Friday either. The record's still in the 80s. Okay. Guys, don't have any questions today? Oh, let me pull up. You're making it easy on me. Okay. Oh, tonight, I'm looking over here, Big Poppy is talking about the baseball game. Of course, game 4 of the World Series. Dodgers could seal the deal tonight. They could end the World Series and win it in New York. That game, first pitch is just after 8 p.m. So we will go on after that game. We're scheduled at 11, but of course, it just depends on how quickly the game goes. If the Dodgers win and, you know, the World Series comes to an end, we will likely be on much later than 11 p.m. because they will do the trophy ceremonies and all those types of things. If that happens, it smells like something's burning, hopefully not, but obviously. If that happens and we are on exceptionally late Of course, you can always get the latest online, on the app, all those types of things, or just wait until tomorrow morning. But we do have all of our reporters in tonight working on some of those stories. I haven't looked too far ahead. But anyways, we'll be on after the World Series is what I'm trying to say. It's just depending on how late we're on. Yesterday, we didn't go on until it was like it was 11:50. It was almost midnight before we went on the air because the game went kind of long. The first inning took like a half hour. So that really delayed our newscast. But either way, we will have our newscast. We'll have our late newscast. It just could be late, or it could be late. And then if New York wins, then of course they'll continue, and they are back in New York again tomorrow for Game 5 if necessary. Then I think Thursday's a travel day, and then they'll play Friday if needed, Saturday if needed. Saturday would be, of course, the last day, Game 7. So, yeah, just want to mention that. For the programming note, I always like to make sure that you guys are aware of that. And then I will be back in for Steve tomorrow, and he is back on Thursday for Halloween for the First Alert Weather Day and for that winter weather forecast. Okay, so I think I've covered all my bases. If that's all that you guys have, that's all that I have. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, I'll have much more on the First Alert Weather Day coming up on our late newscast this evening after the World Series. But I will be updating the website here rather shortly because I've updated that forecast just a little bit. Okay, thanks for joining me. Have a great evening.